Hello, everyone. You're watching SG with Indranil Basu. Today we have Mr. Gautam Vadhera with us, former Delhi cricketer. We are in a very sad moment right now. We've lost a great cricketer in Yashpal Sharma, the former World Cup winning member of 1983. Gautam Vadhera ji obviously knew him personally. Even I knew him personally. It's just remembering him, celebrating him. What a cricketer he was. Sunny Gavaskar used to call him the man for crisis, the crisis man for India. That was the title he had. What are your memories of Yashpal, sir?
Hi, Indanil. Well, it's a very sad day for Indian cricket because he was a thorough gentleman, and to be very frank, just recently, in the COVID also on 28th of March, the in the India England series, I happened to do a DD Sports program with him, and I met him after a long time. But it was a good chat, long chat we had. We shared a lot of things. He told me about his family, where his daughters are, where his son is studying. So I felt very sad because when I saw it in the morning on the WhatsApp group, it was very disheartening. I mean, a person who was so fit, who was thorough gentleman, a good cricketer, fit guy, and early morning you hear something like this, it's very disheartening.
So true, so true, and a great ambassador of the game.
Very true, very true, very true.
So
And not just did not. He was born in Punjab, became played for Delhi, Haryana. He became the coach of the UP. He became the national selector. So he contributed after he stopped playing also. And I was lucky enough that when he was in State Bank of India, so we played a DDC hot weather tournament at Firozshah Kotla. I still
okay,
remember, I mean, that was my first interaction because I was a young boy who just played under 19, though he knew because, it used to come in the papers. But I had a little interaction, and, he had his own way of talking and wishing Raje, and anyone who's close to him in Punjabi, basically, Raje means very close,
yes.
and we know like a younger brother. So I have a lot of memories, and it is very heartbreaking news what we got today.
What I really like, I think there's some
No, I
uh,
can hear you. I can hear you well.
was no job was small.
Yeah, yeah, very true, very true. See, I know because I used to interact with a lot of UP cricketers, and when
Yes,
he went there, he like UP was a big team. He had players like Rizwan Shamshad, Gainendra Pandey, Manoj Mudgal, and Kaif was a young boy. Mohammad Saif was there. So a lot of cricketers were there, and the way he got everyone together and told them what their role was, and totally, I think that team really did well in the Ranji Trophy.
I remember uh, seeing him umpiring local matches.
Yes,
Early
yes, you're right.
2000s.
Yeah, you're right. He did it in a lot of tournaments because I think maybe he his second thought was that maybe I can become an umpire because a lot of former cricketers now it's very common they do it, but maybe he must have thought about that. So he did that, but I think then he became the national selector. So there was no, no way he could do dual things. So I think then he gave it off. Like then he was very engaged. He was very engaged. He was very social. He used to, come at all the cricketing functions wherever you call him as a guest, chief guest. So thorough gentleman. I mean, it's a very sad day because since morning I've been just thinking that just 3 months back I met him, and we had a long chat. We were sitting across, we were doing a program together, and I mean, the moment he came in the makeup room, and he was on the chair, and I just met him. I touched his feet because I don't know, since he, old time, all the cricketers, I don't know, it's common now, not common nowadays, but whenever you see a senior cricketer, you tend to touch his feet, or maybe your coaches also.
Yes,
So
sir.
it's very, very, very bad news we heard today.
Very, very bad news. On 26th, I happened to meet him also. I mean,
Okay. Yeah,
2 days
yeah.
before you covered that game with him, I was sharing the screen. So I said, "Sir, I am not." And anyone I talk to, we talk about that semi-final game against England, where he top scored with
Yeah, yeah.
61.
Yeah, yeah.
No, Indranil, it was not. No one talks about one game which I played a stellar role, and he did play a stellar role. That was 1983, the opening game. I think opening game against the West Indies, where he was man of the match. He had scored
Yeah. 80
89,
runs.
89.
89. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
man of the match, and he
Yeah.
single-handedly won the match. And that match actually gave India that strength of character that they can go all the way and beat the best of the best in the World Cup. That first match was the self-belief, and it was solely carried by Yashpal Sharma sir. He was brilliant, and he said then people talk about that my knock in the semi-final, but the actual innings I played, which was the foundation of Indian, telling the world that we have arrived, and that was the match. And I remember the 9th June 1983, and he was phenomenal in that game. And the likes of Andy Roberts and all the top-rated pace battery, and he was all along standing there. He is his onside shot against Bob Willis in the semi-final is also a talked about thing, but he
Yeah, yeah.
rated finally that knock in against the West Indies in '83, the first league match knock. He rated that higher than the semi-final knock because he told
Yeah.
me on that day.
No, no, very true. Because I just saw on the WhatsApp group also. I think there was a small video of Kirti Bhaiya. He was also there in the team. So he was just saying that when he had set the tempo. You know, when he played that knock of 89 against the West Indies and India won the first match. So he said from there, the atmosphere really changed, and even he was very disturbed because he could not even complete what he had to say. He was choking because he said that we are really missing him, and especially a guy who was the backbone of the team,
Absolutely,
because he was very fit. He was very fit, good fielder. When you have good fielders, he was in the 80s. He was one of the best fielders in the world, one of
yeah,
the best fielders. So even he was very disturbed. And to be very frank, Indanil, I just happened to touch the stump of 1983 World Cup, you know, because he had got that stump and that blazer on that show. And you know what? I still remember he was saying that I don't know, Gautam, whether it's going to fit me from the shoulders. It will, but not from the stomach. And when he tried to close it, so it was very close. He said, "So that means I'm not fat." And I said, "No, Paji, you are still fit." Because I mean, nobody knew that this thing will happen. You know, and especially to a player and a former cricketer who's so fit and who used to go on regular walks and everything. So, I mean, just we can just remember him like this now.
absolutely. And '83 World Cup, he was the 11th highest scorer overall in that tally. I was just looking at the numbers, and he was the second best scorer after Kapil Dev from
Yeah,
the
yeah,
Indian,
very true. Very
and
true,
that,
Indranil.
that speaks a lot. And those days, and he had only four 50s in whatever game he played, around 42 ODI games, and he had four 50s. Two of them, those two important 50s, came in against the West Indies and against England, which he set the tempo, led the foundation, and again carried
Yeah.
India with his bat in the semi-final by beating England in the semi-final and carrying India to the finals, the final. So it was an incredible big match player for certain. I mean, whatever I've seen, and his involvement, he loved the sport. He enjoyed the sport till the last breath, which is so important.
Yes, yes, you're right. In fact, he played 8 matches in the World Cup, and he got about 240 runs, and
Absolutely.
with an average of 34 plus. So it's a good average because you are playing in the middle order. Either you lose wickets, in the beginning, or you get very few overs. And I mean, what to say? When you have players like him who can run like faster. He was one of the fastest runners also out of his team, in the 83 World Cup. Plus, a very good fielder. So, the captain always wants somebody like him who can hit the ball, because
Absolutely.
I saw a small clip where he was hitting, the England bowler. straight
Obviously.
six. He would just give little room, and then improvisation was there that he will move towards off stump and flick the ball, which we see now. But those days, these things were not there. But you can see the class, how much time he had.
So true. So true. And even as a I remember 2003 and 6, there was a little bit of controversy because he was supporting, because he always called spade a spade. That was the special thing about him. And
Yeah,
then
yeah.
from 2008 onwards, he was instrumental in picking that World Cup winning team of 2011. And not only a a World Cup winner, but also as a selector, he picked a team which won the World Cup in 2011. Quite incredible.
Yeah, I mean, see, that is what I'm saying, when you have so much of experience, you do the right thing. I was just discussing about the Uttar Pradesh, when he became the coach in the Ranji Trophy, the atmosphere changed. And, the way you are saying that, he picked up the squad. So that means, that eye is there, to pick the right players. And once you have that, 83 World Cup memories, you know that, you are going for a very big team selection, which is going to play in the World Cup. So you do the best, and I think he was the best person, for this job.
In fact, when I met him, he said that last time I met him, he said we have a WhatsApp group of 83 where we keep in touch with all
Yeah.
the players, and he was really concerned when the Kapil Dev sir had a little cardiac arrest, not cardiac this thing, cardiac problem, and he
Yes.
said he needs to put on weight. He's lost a lot of weight. He was so concerned, and that 83 batch is like a family. At
Very,
that
very true.
that that was really sad bit about one member is going to be missing from that group, and they're all active. That is the best part of it, and they keep checking their health. They keep cracking jokes. That's what he was telling me that day on
Yes.
26th of March last time I met him, and how they're sharing jokes and everything, and the entire they're a hush hush thing that we're really concerned about Kapil Dev sir's health, and look who what happens and what is in store, we actually don't know, which is very sad.
Yeah, yeah, very true. In fact, what you are saying, even he told me the same thing that, they have a group. Because and the program, in between we got the stump and we were talking about the 83 World Cup and the memories and how everyone felt, what was the atmosphere. So I will also share one small thing that since COVID is there and we had a ODI to be covered on DD Sports. So I was there for almost half a day. So I had taken lunch from my own house and I asked him. I said, Paji, do you want to have lunch? He said, no, no, my lunch is coming. So suddenly I see the canteen guy coming and getting a masala dosa. So after he finished, he just told him, he said, sir, do you want anything? He came to give tea. So he said, yeah, I mean, ये डोसा आपने बनाया है? So he said, हाँ जी, मैंने बनाया. He said, I request you, it's very delicious. Can you get one more? You know? So I was just thinking, like, because everyone is not moving out, nobody is going out. I said today he's just come out and he's really enjoying, and so it was small little pleasure. I could see the happiness, I could see on his face, and we covered the program also very nicely. And obviously when your senior is there, you tend to learn a lot. And during the young days of his, and we were small kids, we used to go to Firozshah Kotla when we used to know that there is a final match between Indian Airlines, then Air India, now Indian Airlines they used to say, and plus CWC or State Bank of India, where he used to captain. So as a small kid, we used to go and look at him, the way he used to feel, the way he used to motivate, and the way he used to bat. So those memories are still in front of my eyes. So I mean, what to say? What to say on this day?
He was a really a sad day for Indian cricket. And I can tell you genuinely, when Kapil sir incident happened, he was so concerned. He really wanted to, and loss of weight. And I kept telling me throughout, and
Yeah.
uh, and he never he said that you have to, as you grow old, you have to eat less, look after yourself.
Mm-hmm.
So those things are still, I mean, it's still there in my mind what you told me. But what a grounded gentleman. I mean, he's so nice. He was so down to earth. And when I remember in 2008, when he was a selector, he didn't speak much to the media because after what had happened between 2003 and 2006, little controversy surrounding Greg Chappell, Saurav Ganguly, and all that. And
Yeah,
he
yeah.
did everything to himself, which was great about him. And he was very concerned when we lost the 2011 England series right after the World Cup. I remember meeting him in England, and lot of good memories. And he was always with the game. That was the best part of it. Even as a media professional, he would go and get into studios and punctual. The fact that he's from the 80s, 70s, and 80s, the timing, the sense of timing was so perfect. I mean, you must have seen him. I mean, the way he used to arrive on shows, he was bang on. He's never got late.
Very
But
true, very true. You're right. Yeah,
so that
yeah.
was really
Never, never.
that was really special about him. And I've seen him. I mean, this is one moment. It's an unlucky day. 13 is an unlucky number. That's the biblical sentiment they have towards it. But 13 is really unlucky. We have lost a great champion. He's a World Cup champion. We have lost. It's shocked a lot of people. I was talking to a few of the members of the World Cup team. They are at loss of words, as you said. Kirti Bhai choked. They are in shock because he looked after himself. I mean, Madan Lal sir, all of them. They are difference of like 4 to 5 years. All of them are one solid group. They crack jokes like Jimmy Amarnath sir, and so this is one day they were not prepared. They were just taken off guard.
Yeah, yeah, very right. In fact, they all did a show on India TV also,
Yes.
India Today TV, yeah, and everyone was looking as if they are still very close to each other, and they were cracking jokes and sitting with each other during this COVID also, and as it is, we are going to very shortly see that '83 World Cup a movie is also coming on that, and I mean, what to say, I mean, whenever you look at him, you always feel how this guy can play this shot. How can be he so fit? He's maybe when I saw him, he was around 40, 40 plus. He was running like a youngster. So you really feel bad, and I mean, just imagine that this is an accident. Where you morning you get up and suddenly you hear a news like this. Because when I saw in the group, I said maybe he's got an additional job somewhere, because we have a group of all the first class cricketers. So I just thought maybe something has come up. But when I saw that, I mean, to be very frank, like for a few minutes I was like total quiet, and I didn't know how to react. And I was just trying to open that link, just to see whether this news is correct. And then I saw on Facebook and everywhere that this has happened. And what we have gathered, that he got up in the morning, he was fresh, and suddenly this happened.
Yeah. Yeah. He told his family that he's not going to go for a walk. It's raining, and then he
Okay.
sat and yeah, and he took a deep breath, and that was it. And he
Yeah.
was gone. He had left us, which is a very sad day. We from SG family also, we've expressed we are very sad. Like all of us, true cricket lovers, we've lost a great soul, and I hope cricket will be able to recover. I mean, these are losses which are not prepared for. He had so much still to be. He had to contribute to the game. He loved it so passionately. He was involved with the game. So that is a little shocking. He wanted to really do more, lot more. He believed in continuity. That was typical Yashpal Sharma sir. Great guy, and always call spade a spade. Any last memories you'll carry with you all throughout your life, Gautam bhai? If you can just share that.
See, to be very frank, when I was at the show and, I was touching the wicket, it was just like, you are touching something which was, won by my seniors. Because recently I saw a photograph where in Chandigarh, where Kapil Paji, Sarkar Talwar sir, and Rakesh Jolly, all of them, they were together. So, on the Facebook, I just wrote, it is very happy to see all our seniors, having a good time. So I was just wondering that Yashpaji is not there. Maybe he had not gone there. But memories is that I took few photographs. Usually I don't take photographs, but since he was wearing his 83 blazer, plus he had the wicket, so I thought it was an honor. And that memory I cannot forget, because usually I don't put photographs on the Facebook, but I did because I felt so nice and I was so proud of it. Because I remember as a kid I was half my sleep when they were playing the match, but suddenly whenever there was some sound where the wicket would go down or something, I used to get up, and that time I was watching the match on a black and white TV, and all alone in the drawing room because everyone had slept by then. But that memory I cannot forget, where I still remember he ran, he took out the stump, because you were just telling me that one stump Roger Binney has, one I have, and he told me some other name also. So that last bit of you know discussion what I had, the photograph I had, because I just took out those photographs, I just saw them, so I don't think so I can forget him, because I thought, I got a blessing that day when I touched his feet and he hugged me, and he took the photograph. So those last memories I cannot forget, to be very frank.
We will never allow Yashpal sir to die inside our hearts. That's for sure. Thanks a lot, Gautam bhai, for coming on SG Live, uh, uh, and sharing your memories of Yashpal Sharma. We lost a great soul, and it's a sad day. What else can I say? This is the only thing I have said. Stay safe, and thank God we are still alive, and I mean, I'm also at loss of words. I mean, someone who's so fit, so energetic, so wanted to, full of life, and whenever there was a discussion on cricket, he'll jump into it, and carried himself so well. So goodbye, Yashpal sir, and we'll definitely be remembering you all throughout for leaving behind a rich legacy of fearless batting.
Yeah, Indraneil, that's right. My condolences to the family. I mean, I'm really very sad. I mean, usually, you come to know about something, mentally you are strong and you just let it go. But since it's a cricketer, and a cricketer we used to follow, I think it's a very sad day. And all my condolences to the family and to the cricket fraternity, for this, biggest loss, which has happened. Because if somebody is unwell, mentally you get little prepared, but a guy who's fit and having a nice sleep, and suddenly this happens, very sorry about it.
Really sorry. We are. Thanks a lot, Gautam, for coming on SGTV and sharing your views. Stay safe, and
Thank you,
we'll see.
Indraneil.
Thank
Thank
you.
you, thank you so much. Yeah, bye bye.